All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking something totally invisible, scent, and deconstructing it into pure visual science. We're going to skip all that marketing fluff and get straight into the hidden chemistry, those wild volatile molecules, and the meticulous art behind high-end perfumery. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the actual anatomy of a fragrance. Then, we'll decode the fragrance pyramid, explore some universal fragrance families, debunk those gender labels you see everywhere, break down concentration levels, and finally, wrap up with the 6 steps of creation. Let's get to it.
All right, Section 1, the anatomy of a fragrance. Basically, what is actually in that bottle?
So, look, a perfume is not just some nice-smelling liquid. It's a highly engineered chemical composition of volatile aromatic compounds. We kind of tend to think of it as just a bottle of liquid flowers, right? But the reality is that professional noses spend months, sometimes literal years, engineering a fragrance just so it interacts with your skin and the air in a very, very specific way.
When you look inside that bottle, it's honestly a masterclass in hard science. Obviously, you have the fragrance oils. Those are the core ingredients that actually create the scent. But you can't just spray pure oil on yourself. You need alcohol to act as a solvent, which disperses the fragrance into the air, and water to dilute it. But here is where the real engineering kicks in. Fixatives are added to slow down the evaporation process. Without them, your perfume would literally vanish in minutes. Then, you've got UV stabilizers to protect the liquid from sunlight, and antioxidants to stop it from degrading. I mean, it is literal, hardcore chemistry.
Moving right along to Section 2, decoding the fragrance pyramid, or how scents actually change over time.
Because here's the thing, a scent isn't static. It's a whole experience designed to unfold in 3 distinct stages, entirely based on how volatile the ingredients are. Your top notes create that crucial first impression for the first 5 to 30 minutes. They're fresh, they're bright, and highly volatile, meaning they evaporate super fast. Once those fade out, the heart notes take over for the next few hours, and that's what provides the true personality and body of the perfume. And finally, the base notes anchor the whole thing. These are the heavy molecules that cling to your skin for anywhere from 4 to 24 hours, bringing all that amazing longevity, depth, and warmth. Let's actually look at a practical example of how this builds. Picture this. You spray a beautifully crafted fragrance first thing in the morning. Boom. At first spray, your nose is hit with those highly volatile top notes, maybe some sparkling citrus bursts of bergamot and lemon, maybe a sharp little hint of pink pepper. But by the time you're sitting down for lunch, those citrus notes are completely gone. Now the middle notes emerge, and you're projecting this gorgeous blend of lavender, jasmine, and cardamom. Fast forward to dinner time, and the scent has completely transformed again. The dry down is kicked in, leaving you with these lingering, warm base notes of woody amber, cedarwood, and musk. You are essentially getting 3 totally different perfumes in a single application.
Okay, Section 3, exploring universal fragrance families.
If you're someone who loves fresh, sparkling, and super clean scents, you are definitely a fan of the citrus family. This family leans heavily on highly volatile top notes, things like bergamot, orange, grapefruit, and mandarin. Because they evaporate so incredibly quickly, these are typically your go-to summer perfumes, or those light, inoffensive office fragrances that just wake you up and leave a really clean impression.
Next up is the floral family, which is without a doubt the absolute largest category in all of perfumery. We're talking rich, complex notes like rose, jasmine, lily, and tuberose. Now, while these have historically been super common in women's perfumes, the industry is totally shifting. Perfumers are increasingly using these beautiful floral elements as essential supporting notes in really complex men's fragrances to add this amazing elegance and depth.
And there are so many other fascinating families out there. You've got the woody family, featuring elegant stuff like sandalwood and cedar. You have amber, which is rich and sensual with notes of vanilla and tonka bean. Then there's gourmand, which is this deeply comforting category that honestly smells completely edible. Think chocolate, coffee, and caramel. You also have aquatic, which captures that sea salt and ocean breeze vibe. But I gotta say, my absolute favorite category is fougère. It's massively popular in men's fragrance, and the word actually means fern in French. But the irony? Fougère perfumes almost never contain any actual fern. It's a complete fantasy accord designed to smell like a traditional barbershop or a lush green forest.
All right, Section 4. We need to talk about debunking those gendered fragrance labels. So many of us just assume there's some actual chemical distinction between a men's cologne and a women's perfume. Let me tell you, there absolutely is not. Those pour homme and pour femme labels, they're driven entirely by cultural expectations in marketing, not chemistry.
Traditionally, sure, we've boxed feminine notes into peony, vanilla, and fruits, but modern perfumery, especially the really cool niche houses, they completely ignore these boundaries. They are creating these incredible unisex masterpieces, blending powerful ingredients like oud, amber, incense, and sandalwood without targeting a specific gender at all. At the end of the day, a great scent is just a great scent.
Moving right along to Section 5, Understanding Perfume Concentration Levels.
Ever wonder why some perfumes completely fade after your morning commute, while others are still going strong a full 24 hours later? Well, it all comes down to oil concentration. The actual percentage of fragrance oil dictates a perfume's strength, its longevity, and its sillage, which is just the industry term for that invisible scent trail left behind when you walk past someone. It scales up, starting from a light eau de cologne at 2 to 5% oil, up to eau de toilette at 5 to 15%. Then you step up to eau de parfum, which is much richer at 15 to 20%. And at the absolute top of the pyramid, you have pure parfum. That boasts a massive 20 to 40% concentration, meaning you really only need a tiny application for it to last well into the next day.
And finally, Section 6, the 6 steps of creation. The journey from just a raw concept to that final beautiful bottle is a true marriage of art and laboratory science, and it happens across 6 really rigorous steps. It all kicks off with concept development, where the perfumer defines the aesthetic identity. Is it luxury? Is it fresh? Is it dark? Next comes formula creation. This requires microscopic precision to balance anywhere from 50 to sometimes over 300 individual ingredients. Once that's done, those aromatic materials are physically blended together before moving on to dilution, where the perfumer's alcohol is added to hit that perfect target concentration level we just talked about. Step 5 requires immense patience, maturation. The blend is basically aged for several weeks or even months, which lets all those molecules properly integrate and smooth out. Finally, the liquid goes through a strict filtration process. They literally chill it to remove any waxes or suspended particles, leaving behind this pristine, perfectly engineered fragrance that is completely ready to be bottled. So, we've unpacked the highly engineered chemistry inside the bottle, we've traced the wild, volatile journey of the fragrance pyramid, and we've explored the intricate steps of creation. Perfume is ultimately invisible architecture. So, based on the families and notes we've explored today, what specific chemistry best projects your identity to the world? Are you a bright, sparkling citrus? Or maybe a deep, unapologetic amber? Just think about the science you're wearing the next time you reach for that bottle. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.